30.
And it didn't seem like Brent got him the stripper because he was acting like it was a real cop. And Parker had to be like, you dummy. That's not a real cop. Like, who got that stripper? Why?
I mean, that's going to be the second biggest mystery of the show. Like, first is who killed Luke. Second is who got these kids a stripper. Like,
and everyone was so chill. Hello, you're watching Black by Reality, the podcast on YouTube, or you're listening to us. If so, much appreciated. This place is a place for Black bi baddies and those who love us. I'm Nicole Weaver, your host, and I am back with my bestie Alisha to talk about this very scandalous episode of Cruel Summer. Episode 6, Season 2. Hi, Alisha.
Hey, boo. Hey, boo. I just noticed you have eyeshadow on.
I sure do.
That's a really good color, though.
Thank you. I also got like a new lip liner, so it's like more of an ombre effect. I've been like experimenting with lip liner a lot.
Your lips look really juicy and like cherries.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, this episode, The Plunge, was a lot.
It was. It really was.
What's your first reaction or take, overall take on this one?
A lot of drama. So much drama in like, what, 45 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
So like, as soon as the episode was like 5 minutes in, I had a new theory about why Luke died. And I think I'm right. By the end of the episode, I think I'm right.
Yeah.
It's because he's a liar. He died. He died because he's a liar. Not saying that liars deserve to die, but he died because he lied.
My thing is that also, like, I had an early prediction, and I was like, not to victim blame, but I think Luke does something really shady, because why else would these two teenage girls be involved with his death? And it's like, they're more mad at each other or like circumstance. Like, no one's hardcore mourning him. Like, this episode, we kind of get that in the future, which, guys, usually we have gone by beat, but we're switching things up with our reaction recaps and just going with the flow. And we see in 2000 finally that Meg is like going to the memorial. She's like, this is supposed to be his 18th birthday, which is wild because of something else that happens in this episode. But she was just like, you know, the stripper, Alisha, that was not legal.
Oh my God. Yo,
that was not legal.
I wanted to like not text you so much during the episode because I wanted to hold my reactions for recording, but the amount of like the different facial expressions I had reacting to this episode, a stripper for an 18-year-old, 17-year-old
17
party.
17. And it didn't seem like Brent got him the stripper because he was acting like it was a real cop. And Parker had to be like, you dummy. That's not a real cop. Like, who got that stripper? Why?
I mean, that's going to be the second biggest mystery of the show. Like, first is who killed Luke. Second is who got these kids a stripper. Like,
and everyone was so chill. Like,
so chill about it.
The parents came home. Debbie and Steve just come home from like a date, and they're like, "Oh, kids, did you have fun, ma'am? There was a stripper and underage drinking happening in your house."
I mean, underage drinking happens in like every teen show, though, which always concerns me. But I feel like this time around, it was the stripper that was more concerning than the drinking.
It's that the drinking was happening at Debbie's house, and I really want to know if Debbie knows that, because I feel like they went. I feel
no.
Debbie.
Oh, I mean, that's why she's snooping around underneath Megan's bed. Issa, I was gonna say one teenager.
Yeah.
Isa tells her like, I'm hiding something from Megan that she asked me to get rid of. And
She tried to get rid of, not asked her. Because remember, Meg went out to that trash can and Izza saw it, snuck up, took that
That's
shit
true.
back out. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Ooh, that's true. That's true. That's true. Ooh, if y'all listeners know where that melody is from,
Let
drop
us know in the
a comment. Yeah,
comments.
let us know in the comments.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
But
it true?
I still can't make out what that cloth is supposed to be, but like Debbie asked Megan, is this Luke's blood? She was like, are you gonna be mad at the answer? She's trying to play games. This is not the time to play games,
It's really not
Megan.
the time. It's really not
And
the time.
you know, the episode actually ends with Debbie saying, I need to know what happened. Because at this point, Debbie knows Megan's up to some stuff, but right now she's like, that's my baby, and I'm going to back her. When Steve tries to come over and be like, bring her outside, I want to talk to her, she was like, no, she's not home. She's not home.
And
Oh,
he's
her
like, the
car?
car is right there.
Nope, she's not home. Steve, you can get it
I
too,
mean,
Steve.
at least one person is ride or die in this show. The only one who should be ride or die, honestly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, unconditional love should be parents, like,
Yes. Yes. And that's it.
and that's
Yeah.
it. Like, I keep thinking about how these kids keep saying you're the most important person in my life to each other.
Dramatic as
Like,
hell. Dramatic as hell. Yeah. But let's go back. Let's go back. Back
yes.
to the beginning. Um July 1999. We do have this party for Luke. It's the birthday party. We find out Isabella is like, oh yeah, I dumped his ass. Like, and then Megan said, it's his birthday. And she's like, well, I did it the night before. Hilarious. She acts like that's such a big difference.
Can we also talk about the fact that she really broke up with this man because of Megan?
Yes.
Like,
But she really
which
didn't care, which was wild to
she
watch.
didn't care. She didn't care. Like, it's interesting because I feel like I went through the same love triangle that that they are going through right now, minus the
Mm,
murder. And well, and minus the murder and minus like a lot of the actions that they're taking in terms of like, you like him, I'll break up with him. Like, nah, that
yeah.
didn't happen. But there's something, I don't know. I feel like I want to find like a think piece or a study online about like love triangles between like best friends and a outside person and how that affects these three people in such a weird way, because it is a very like interesting kind of like triangle. It's a very interesting kind of intimacy, and it's like there's already something romantic between two femme best friends, like romantically platonic, and then there's something obviously romantic about like one best friend and the partner,
Mm-hmm.
but the partner and the other best friend also have a closeness. Like, it's just weird,
It's
and
very weird.
it's very weird. It's very, very intense, and there's like all these jealousies and all of these like insiders. Like, it's so complicated. So I think like watching um watching Izza and Luke like at the plunge, which was like, what is the plunge? They just jump in the cold
They
water?
jump into the
Like,
cold water, even though it's freaking December.
these kids are making some bad choices since the first episode. But anyway, they jump in this cold water, and Luke is like, what first he's like, I miss Megan and da 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 da. And then Izza's like, well, yeah, you guys are gonna be fine. Like, you guys
Yeah.
are have been meant to be since the beginning. And then she's just like, that's why I broke up with you,
Mm.
because y'all
No.
killed each
He
other.
asks. He asks. He's being a really needy little bitch. And he's like, oh, I'm not getting attention from Megan. So, like, oh my God. And she says, Megan's going through something. Luke was like, well, you were going through something last summer. So,
That's
like,
true.
why does this keep happening that these girls are leaving me? And she was like, calm down. Megan liked you. You liked Megan. So I stepped out of it. Like, what do you want? Two girls fighting for you?
Right.
And he's just sitting there and he's just like sadly eating his marshmallow. Like,
That actor's facial acting is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of good acting this episode, actually, but we can
Yeah.
get to that after because we haven't spoke about the person who I thought deserves an award for their acting this episode.
Ooh, okay, okay. So while Luke and Isabella were at the Plunge talking about Megan, Megan was busy, y'all. She went over to Ned's home. Ned is freaking the hell out. This apparently is the same person. I now think you're right, Alisha, that he was the person setting off the gun with everything that's going on with him. So he's
Yeah.
like making Megan check his security system, like they to see if it's gonna go down after Y2K. And he's sketchy. Like she looks over and there's like a locked door right next to her, and he snaps at her like she a dog. I was like, nah, you pay attention over here.
The snapping, like this incel motherfucker, like having this teenage girl, like hack whatever it is he wants to be hacked. Like
Something is wrong with him because
something is wrong with him.
you can't tell me like you're a rich dude so sophisticated in tech and you don't have someone of age with credentials doing this stuff
And
for
then
you.
he locks her in the room.
Weird.
I think he has something to do with it.
He probably does. We had a sketchy man last season, so maybe they're keeping that
We
theme.
did. I was hoping that this season wouldn't have problematic adults, but clearly
it's always going to be problematic.
You're right. We've been had problematic adults, but like problematic in terms of like crossing the boundaries of like age and like being alone with a child and shit like that. You're not a relative or anything.
Yeah. And like Debbie's like, anytime she tries to ask about this, Megan shoots her down. And it's like
she dead ass put her headphones back on
when she should have snatched that off her freaking head. The way
I wouldn't have a head if that was me. Like,
are you
my
kidding?
mom would have snatched it off so hard my head would have fallen off with it.
It's
absurd. It's absurd. Like the lack of parenting in this show.
She has no respect for Debbie because Debbie has not acted like the grown-up for a very long time. But she needs to get it together.
Very, very true. Very, very true.
Yikes.
Very, very true.
Yikes.
I mean, and also Megan feels like she is parenting her mom, especially because she's working all these jobs, scrounging up money, trying to like make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think there's this interesting dynamic where Megan not only feels like she's parenting her mom, but she also feels like she's probably co-parenting her sister too.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
With like single parent dynamics.
Totally. So yeah, while Megan's working, kind of, or just being locked in a room, Luke and Isabella is about to head back from the beach, but then Luke is like, "Oh, you never like regret dumping me?" And Isabella says with a quickness, "No, I haven't thought about it since it happened." And his ass leans over.
Baddies don't look back at the past.
They sure don't.
Like, our heads are high and moving forward. Like,
absolutely
why are we
not
breaking our necks to think about the past?
Nah, no one's thinking about you.
No one's thinking about you.
He kisses her. She says immediately no. He takes her home, and I think I knew then he was going to do some smarmy shit.
Pause. I hate those 90 kisses of that 90s kiss of like just plunging at a person. God, like, can you ask? What about consent?
Yeah.
Like, it's so gross to me.
Yeah.
And I love that it wasn't considered romantic in this scenario because it has been considered romantic in other scenarios, in other movies and shit.
Totally. Yeah. He kind of had a little bit of an ego check, but not really, because what he decides to do is he beats Isabella to the punch because that boy was scared. First of all, he immediately ran to Megan's room. She comes home. He's there with a shirt from the Plunge, and he's like, "Yeah, all I've been doing is thinking of you."
Lies. First lie. First lie.
And
First
then
lie.
Megan just decides here and now we should have some makeup sex as the first time for us. No.
What do you think that is about?
I
Like,
don't
do you think
know.
she felt a high from like doing her hacker shit and was just like horny, a little mixy? Or do you think she really does miss Homeboy and
Mm-hmm. So I think she's like, yeah, I really care about this person. I have been angry at him and it's probably not his fault. But also, I think Ned got a little bit in there in her head. Because don't forget, before she left, Ned was like, Luke is going to probably turn out
the
like his no
legacy?
good daddy.
The
He's a
legacy.
little rich boy. And she was like,
Mm-hmm.
he's not like that. And she's probably like, yeah, like trying to confirm that. Like, no, I believe in this. So let's have sex right now. Him being trash does not stop it, does not say the thing that she probably is not going to like before because he won't get what he wants out of her. So he
Yeah.
sleeps with her and then afterwards says, oh, well, me and Isabella had like a thing at the beach. She's like, what are you talking about? She immediately is like, because this was her problem in the first place. She
Yeah.
felt like this could have been an issue. And
Yeah.
then he says, well, she kissed me.
This little boy. I mean,
Delusional.
Ned did say,
Yeah, he did.
that's it. He said it.
Yeah.
He said he didn't say how he was gonna fall far from the tree. No, he didn't say how the apple would fall close to the tree. He didn't say what the thing would be, but he said it. He said it.
Yeah.
And Megan's over here thinking it's gonna be about money or something, but nope, it's about the lying. It's about the lying.
Yeah. Yeah. Disgusting. Disgusting.
I told you that the Luke storyline had to do with generational trauma. I said it like back in episode 1 or 2. Yeah.
Well, the black people are not being treated well at all this episode because if we go back to 1999 at this party, Jeff, he thinks him and Megan are still kicking it. So he's like, hey, why don't you go to this like family trip thing? She immediately sees Luke.
She's not even paying attention to him.
No.
Like he's
understanding. He's like, you know what? You're a host of this party. Do what you gotta do. Later, they're like, oh, we'll partner up for ping pong. All of a sudden, Luke's like, well, I want Megan because she's coordinated. So she was like, it's his birthday. And Isabella's like, Jeff, you can play with me. Like, and he's like, okay, cool.
Solidarity. It's always a black femme. It's always a black femme who's there to be like, listen, this white girl don't want you. I'll play with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they're playing and like Luke is drunk and doing the most and Megan's also doing the most because now just hours after her hours, Megan, after your best friend leaves this boy for you, you are all over him physically, that you fall on top of him in front of Jeff's face, and it looks like you guys are about to go to Bone Town. Like Brent said, basically do it.
I've never used that phrase, go to Bone Town.
I mean, that's probably good. It's a weird phrasing. Yeah.
Jeff is the one that I think deserves an what kind of award? Emmy. An Emmy for his acting this episode.
Heartbroken.
He really did. And his look as well as like a human being also is giving like 90s sitcom too. Like he looks like he's from the past. So like that also like heightened his acting in this episode because Megan goes over and sits next to him and talks to him after the fact, after she does all this bullshit. And she's acting like she doesn't know what's wrong. She's like, "You've been quiet all day." What you mean? Like, of
What you
course I've been quiet all
mean?
day. Like, you're flirting with this other man, other young boy, child,
When I talked to
teenager.
you, you ignored me.
Exactly. You almost kissed this dude in front of me. Like, and
Dress.
Jeff is like, listen, I peep game. Like, I've seen this since the beginning. He's like, I've seen this since the beginning, but then I thought you liked me back. So, I gave it a chance, but now I see again that you're not checking for me. And you know what he does? He's like, I'm gonna leave you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before you can leave me. He's like, I'm gonna leave. All right. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of this bullshit. I don't deserve this. And the pain in his face.
Yep.
Exquisite acting. Exquisite
Yes.
acting.
So yeah, I agree. My BB moment, my beautiful black moment of this episode is when Isabella did have his back.
Yes.
So yeah, I loved that. Megan even danced Genie in a Bottle in front of all the
Child.
boys. And Jeff
And
was into it because he thought, I guess, she was flirting with him, but it was so Luke. Doing the
also
most.
amazing song choice. The only one who nailed that choreography though was, we already know who nailed it. Izza.
Isa.
Izza. She should have been in front. But
It
that's
was
a
not going
story
to
for,
happen.
it was not gonna happen.
But
Yeah.
we also get a chaotic queer moment, chaotic
Yes, we
bisexual moment.
do.
And I was
Yes, we
not
do.
ready. So Parker's the one who actually led the choreography moment.
Mm-hmm.
And she decides to kiss the blonde girl. I knew something was up with those two girls
Yeah, me too. Me
from the
too.
very beginning.
Shout out to Parker.
I don't like that this was in service of freaking Brent horniness. But
Was it? Was it?
yes, she kissed that girl, and then she like looks to Brent, and Brent's like, "That's my woman." Like it was so obvious. Even the dancing, that this whole storyline was like a mating call, and
It
it was like
was. It
the
was.
the girls doing the most instead of the boys to
I
attract
agree
these
with that.
girls.
I agree with that. And I mean, I wish it wasn't like that. That's why I'm just like, was it? But you're right. It was. I always want there to be like, a femme moment where they're just having fun for the fun of it
Nah,
and it's not about men. But like Izza literally says, like, there's no better way to get Luke's attention than to like be flirty and like dance and look sexy. And it's just like, damn, like, do it for yourself, like Luke is not
truly.
even Luke is a liar.
Luke is a liar.
Luke is a
A liar.
liar.
And even like when he's in the Airstream with the stripper, where Isabella, his ex, sleeps. No one has fucking boundaries in this fucking
The
show.
disrespect, yo. The
And
disrespect.
like,
Like,
Megan.
also, like, I can't believe, and then he has the nerve when he's done. He comes out and like kissing and telling, and he's just like, oh, she was grinding on more than my lap. Ew.
You're a
I hate
minor.
boys.
You're a minor. She like go seek help. Go seek
It's so
help.
gross. It's so problematic. And I don't really hate boys, but I hate toxic masculinity. That's what I hate.
Yes.
That's what I
And
hate. That's what I hate.
this season is definitely talking about toxic
It's
masculinity
like
for sure.
that's like the thesis statement of this season, between the father and now the sons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it
Even
is
the
just,
sheriff. Even the
even the
sheriff
sheriff,
brought up
even
a
the
little,
sheriff.
talking about, oh, I started working out. Like, my dad was a bully. He didn't want me to become a cop, but like, look what I do. And he's like, yeah, you be your own person. He tells Luke, be your own person, except when it's a woman, but you still make sure you have the last say. Sheriff.
And I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you, sheriff. Like,
Sheriff.
and then you say something like that.
What are you talking about right now? The last say on what? What?
But honestly, it's timeless. It happens in every fucking decade.
I wish the sheriff did pop up on this party because he should have looked at all those children and looked at that stripper and he should have just been like, "Am I a joke to you? Am I a goddamn joke to you?" The sheriff also takes a beating in this. Like the black people really down bad because in the current timeline, 2000, Steve and Brent got bold when he's lucky to even be free. They roll up in his office and they're like,
Yep.
why haven't you booked anyone yet? Like you're
Yep.
not really doing shit. And he's like, first of
Which is
all,
wild. Which is like, how wild is that to show up to someone's job? I mean,
entitled.
abolish the police, but
Mm-hmm.
like still, like how wild is it to show up to a police officer's place of work
You know what's
again
the
and be like, you're not doing your job right, like I'm gonna hire a private investigator, like you're just sitting on your ass doing nothing, like
when he's been questioning these babies every single day.
exactly,
And like
exactly.
the biggest issue I have, or really what's the big unsaid thing, is that Steve acts like he bought the sheriff.
Yeah, he really does. He
He's
which
like,
what is
I
that
paid
about? Like,
because it's the gambling. Remember? He's like, I picked you up off the bar after a gambling debt. I paid for like certain things you needed around, I think, your home. So when it came time to like, okay, is Brent gonna get charges pressed against him? He's like,
yep, he was like,
you
you can't,
you
you owe
you were
me.
bought. You were
Right.
bought.
And that's why it's gonna come back that Debbie accepted Steve fixing the plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna
Mm-hmm.
come back. Cause that's the type of person Steve is. Like
Oh, absolutely.
he has to have feel like he has some kind of ownership over people by like controlling things financially. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how
Absolutely.
he gets away with things too, because you owe him, quote unquote, he can never really get implicated for anything,
No, no.
or his kids.
Or his kids. So this is a hot mess. This is a hot
A hot
mess.
mess. A hot mess.
Um, yeah, I don't even know what to say. Another thing that we haven't talked about is Parker. Parker in the 2000s. Megan accuses Isabella of, yeah, killing Luke like she did Lisa. Parker overhears all of this, and Parker just goes tiptoeing over to the sheriff, and she's like, I got a hot tip for you.
Snitch.
Yeah.
Snitch.
Which
Like,
honestly, what else should that child do? I'm not
um,
I'm not against it because what else do you do with that? I'm not trying to get in this business. So I'm going to tell an authority and
she
you
overheard a fight. She didn't overhear
yes.
facts. She didn't overhear facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, she overheard
Mhm.
a fight between two people who have not been cool with each other for months.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I don't know how, if the like, do sheriffs take he say she say to heart? Like,
I think it just helps you lean more into that direction. But right now we know he already suspects them. So this
he
is
already,
not
yeah.
going to help. But Isabella's saying, hey, like, I did not force Lisa to swim. At least we get more details, at least her side of the story of that. So
Right.
that might actually help Isabella that she's not, saying, yeah, I am involved in that girl's death. She only
Do
says
you
she's innocent.
think do you think this night's swim is what's on the floppy disk?
Maybe, yeah, because what else would it be, Or something that happened before the swim.
Is it a
Yeah.
coincidence that two teenagers drowned because of Isabella being in the vicinity?
I mean, I'm telling you, it's giving staircase. It's giving
I
staircase.
still haven't watched that.
I know you haven't, but one is like, that's
We should
weird.
watch it when I visit. We should watch it when I
Yes.
visit. Yes.
Two, it's like, you probably did this shit. I don't know what the
I
likelihood
don't want to
is.
believe that is
I
a
don't want
murderer.
I don't think she's
Like,
giving that, honestly. I don't think she is
but
giving
you
that.
are sticking with the theory that like she incited or like influenced
Yeah.
some kind of incident to happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Okay.
She loyal, she claims.
I mean, we know that Luke is a liar.
Yeah.
I wonder if next episode or maybe closer to the end, um, it's gonna come out. So what do we think about Megan's side job? And like, is this somehow related to the murder?
Maybe. Maybe. Because Ned's weird. Ned doesn't like this family.
Yeah.
Um,
I wonder if
but
whatever Ned is having Megan do is actually related to this family. You know?
yeah, I don't know. It feels like he's been teaching her how to like do different things. And then at the end, it was about the security of his home. So it's just like he's paranoid about his home. It doesn't seem like he has much interaction with the rest of the town. So like, um, I don't know how much interaction or how those lines will even be crossed, but it's a possibility for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe someone gets locked in that room and that's how
Maybe.
everyone gets pulled in. Like something's in that room.
Something's in that room, that bloody cloth. But why are you over here accusing Isa, excuse me, Isa of being the murderer, but like you went back to the cabin to clean up blood? Maybe it's not Luke's blood.
That's my thing, is like she was pregnant. I don't know. Did something happen with that pregnancy that that blood was on the floor?
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, do you think that she's taking all this like extra shifts and like extra job with Ned to save up for an abortion?
Ooh. Maybe, maybe not. There's so many things going on
There's
because
so
like
many things.
she's right about to go to college and they just talk about how she only has like $5,000 or something in savings. So it's a true toss up. I don't even know if she knows she's pregnant. And like, here's my thing also about this episode. Guess what? Megan still never speaks up for our girl, especially after she just dumped this boy. Therefore,
Because they're not
another reason
friends.
why Isabella's getting all these insults. But you know who does at least say something? Parker.
Yep, exactly. That's how they get
Parker
close.
Parker's like,
Because
your culture? Do you mean like douchebag? Like, what the hell are you
right.
talking about? She speaks up for Isabella twice, I think, more than
Yeah,
Megan ever
more
has.
than Megan. I
And
100% agree. And Megan doesn't even stick up for Isabella in private
nope,
when it's just Brent talking shit about Isabella to her.
it's wild. And I'm just like, Megan, like, what is wrong with you? It's the whiteness for me,
Yep, I
truly.
agree. I
Because
agree.
like, what is wrong with you? You don't even like this boy, and you still can't be bothered to like say anything to him.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay,
Yeah. I wonder how they do
trifling.
get together then if it wasn't at that party.
Probably the next day.
Yeah.
They barely can wait for
Also,
anything.
Megan was not even, she was fake sad when Isabella told her that they broke up. Her acting was so fake, yo. She's like,
It's
"Really?
terrible.
Are
And
you
she didn't even ask
serious?"
Isabella like how she feels, or
Right.
like
Right.
her friend also went through a breakup. She was more concerned with Luke. And it's like,
Right.
you're trash. You're
Right.
trash.
Right. Right.
Like, I don't think
I mean,
Isabella looks
but
happy at all.
they did have Isabella play it off as in like, oh, I didn't really care about him. It was just a summer fling. Who knows if she's telling the truth about her feelings,
Mm-hmm.
but she did make it seem like, yeah, like this wasn't gonna last anyway. But even then, it's like Megan still could have checked in because like who knows if Isabella is just like brushing off her feelings because she feels like Megan had a better chance, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Totally. And it can still be really sad that she keeps bringing up, like, this is all temporary. Like, all the connections that she's making right now are
right,
temporary. And
right.
that's, like, kind of sad that she doesn't.
It's very sad that she doesn't feel like belonging.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about the episode?
It stung a little bit when Debbie called Isa a fugitive in the beginning of the episode. Like, I don't know
And
why
then
that hurt me. Like,
she
like, damn. Like, she's like, so she's a fugitive? I was like, God damn. Like, has this girl not been living in your home for like how many months? Like,
mm-hmm,
do you
mm-hmm.
not care about her? Like, you like they switch up so easy in this
They
show.
do. They do. Like Debbie, she's like, "Oh, you always have a home." And like she was the one to
Right.
invite this poor girl
And then
over
she kicked her
here.
out with the quickness.
Yeah, because of
All her daughter
Megan and
had to
like
say, well, exactly, because of Megan. Even Debbie as a parent, like, you should also care about this other child and the fact that you agreed to take her in. You said you took her in
she's
because her
your
letter was so she's
responsibility.
your responsibility. Like, if your daughter don't fuck with her no more, that's your opportunity to try to figure out some kind of conflict resolution, or just be like, all right, well, it's fine if you don't like her. Like, she lives in a whole trailer. Like, just don't go outside. Just don't stay in the house. Like you just go to work and then you come home, like, and then visit Luke. Like, you don't have to, like, and the walks from like outside to the car is mad short. Like, this person is not living inside the house. Like, why are you
No.
pressed?
No. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching us or listening.
Yes.
Definitely, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. You can ring that bell so you can always get notifications when we have something new. And if you're
Ring my
listening to
bell,
us,
ring a ling a ling. You can ring my bell. That's a good song.
mm-hmm. And if you are listening to us, please rate us 5 stars. And tell your friends about us. But yeah,
Yes. Have a
follow
good
along.
week.
Have a good week and keep theorizing.
Keep theorizing. Yes. Bye.
Bye.